This is one of my dogs. He's called Guy. I don't know what's the matter with him. He keeps doing this thing where he'll just stop on a walk and just lie down like that, look. Like he's going to peg out. I don't know what's the matter with him, really. If I stroke him for a bit, and if I can encourage him, sometimes he gets up and runs along for a while. What's the matter with him, though? He's not that old. He's only about 7 or 8. So, I'm a bit worried about him, really. Phoebe seems alright. But Guy, I don't know what's the matter with him. Can you walk, Guy? Are you coming on? Shall we go home? Come on. See, watch, if I just walk along and try to leave him behind, he won't come with, look. So he just stays there. Even if I ignore him, and sometimes he'll get up and try. I'll just go up here along, just so you can see what I mean. So you can't really walk away and leave a dog like that, can you? So I have to go back and get him. I can see him. I've had to carry him home before now. He's a bit accident prone, Guy. I've had to take him to the vet about 3 times because he's lacerated himself on barbed wire or something like that. And now I don't know what's going on. He had to go into the vets about 2 months ago because he'd had this massive, a big fatty lump, like a big tumour on his leg, and he had that taken off. He's got another little lump on his side, poor fella. That one doesn't seem to be growing. But I don't know what this thing is. I don't know what this lying down business is. Hey, Guy. Look at that. How could you? How can you not like a dog like that? Isn't that right, Pup? Come on, come on. And he's up. Oh, he's down again. Can you make it, Guy? Come on. Come on. Oh, dear. I was going to make a video about dying, but seems like my dog is looking like it's in its last legs. It feels a bit inappropriate. I'll just say 1 or 2 things about that, just so I keep it in mind for myself, really. Which is this thing to do with what I was just talking about in terms of panpsychism, really. Isn't that right, Guy? Because one of the things that I was thinking about in relation to this kind of idea of us being natural-born dualists, that's not people who use swords and guns, people who naturally, we seem to be naturally inclined to think that mind and body are separate things. And I've just been thinking that in terms of substances, because we must imagine minds and bodies in certain concrete ways, so I'm kind of imagining them as substances. And they feel like quite different substances, and here I'm borrowing from Cartesian substance dualism, I guess, but very specifically. You know, it's like oil and water almost. In which oil, like the mind, is kind of seen as being at the top, and then the watery body is somewhere below. Or maybe like, yeah, that's probably the best I can do right now. Maybe like sand and water, I don't know, maybe something like that. In which the sand sinks to the bottom and the water is this more mobile substance. Come on, Guy, can you make it to the bridge and we'll go home? Oh, he's limping a bit, but he is moving. So if I can think of oh, he's down again. So if I think of mind and body as being like oil and water, you can shake them up and they appear to distribute. You know, they appear to mix. They don't really mix though. They just form an emulsion where little tiny drops of oil distribute themselves through the body of the liquid. And if you leave it for a while, it'll separate out again, and the oily mind will float to the top. Or if it gets put some sand in water and shake it for a few seconds, you will get a suspension where the sand is suspended in the liquid. But again, if you leave it, the solid body will precipitate out, not precipitate out, but will just separate out, float to the bottom, sink to the bottom, and leave this, in that case, more liquid mind. Oh dear, look at him now. Now, the reason why I think that's to do with death, and it's not really to do with death, it's just me trying to imagine it really, is to do with how we imagine death taking place. And usually, well, at least one of the common understandings of death that I find is something I've spoken about before, which is this imagining of a small fragment of some substance or other joining to a larger body of that substance. So there's a line in the song, a drop of water longing for the ocean. And I think David Icke uses a similar kind of liquid metaphor. And just the act of putting a body in the ground, or sprinkling the ashes in the ground, is about putting substances together, a fragment of material substance with other material substances. So I think we have that. We don't tend to think of death and what happens after that moment, right? As one substance joining forth with a completely different substance. We don't think, for example, of if we imagine ourselves as drops of water, which is the line from that song, we don't think of ourselves as falling like rain on the deserts of the afterlife, for example. It just doesn't feel right somehow. Whereas that drop of water joining with the ocean does feel right. And I think it's because of what I was talking about earlier on, that intuitively we have this sense that we feel ourselves cognitively, or we feel our minds, or we find it easy to feel our mind continuous with other minds, even some kind of panpsychic, pantheistic understanding of mind. We find that easier than feeling our minds to be continuous with what we understand as an entirely different substance, like the physical matter of the body, the physical matter of the earth and the universe. What do you think about that, Guy? You're not going to join forces with the panpsychic universe now, are you, mate? I better stop listening to it now.